Okay, we are ready here for Simons bar mitzvah. And here's Uncle B and Uncle J. And look what Simons do.
Crying inside.
Johnny like you did when he was a baby.
Doesn't want another side belly.
Oh, he's gonna get a nice facial.
I'm so hungry. When I decide where it's going, I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna set up the table. I just want to.
This is being recorded.
I know.
You know what Zeta has a special attachment where it goes around your waist and you can just put it inside your pants.
Yeah.
That way you can watch the game live.
No, I'm not gonna roll it in the napkin.
Just the box story.
Saturday, the morning of Simon's big day. A beautiful, crisp morning here in Maryland. I'm just going to give you a walkthrough. Woo! The hall has been prepared for the festivities. And this is the room where it happens. And as they said in Hamilton, I want to be in the room where it happens. And here's Bobba doing her studies for the morning.
Hi everybody.
Hey,
So wonderful.
start again.
Hi everybody. Oopsie. So wonderful to be here. It's all going to be gorgeous. Hi. Wonderful day. Freezing cold compared to my wonderful warm Arizona. Yes, it is. It's about 41. Look at this. This is the man of the moment that we're all here to celebrate today. Gorgeous hunk of Simonhood. And we're all excited. It's all going to be beautiful. Just sitting here waiting for them all to arrive. Of course, we were the early birds. Had a bad night last night. Too much noise in the hotel. But here we are, ready to celebrate a wonderful Simcha. Love you, Simon, darling. Grow up strong, beautiful, happy in whatever it is you choose to do with your life. Lots of love, my angel.
Simon, Zayda here. I want to wish you Mazel Tov on your Bar Mitzvah. You now have some responsibilities to yourself, to your parents, to the community. I also want to tell you that I compare you to a sabra. A sabra is a fruit that is grown in Israel on a cactus, similar to a prickly pear. And you are very much like a sabra, hard and prickly on the outside, but soft and sweet on the inside. And I hope you grow up to be an upstanding young man where we and your parents and the community can be very proud of you. Love, Zayda. Hi. Simon, come and say something. You going to say something to Simon? Yeah. Panic and pandemonium. Good morning, Max.
Give me a job to do for you.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing this. Just start it. Thank you. Everything okay there? Okay. Uncle called. Oh, thanks. Uncle called. All right, Aaron, let's start the fun.
Say good morning.
Not get it. Good morning, Izzy.
No, not me, to the camera, to Simon.
Hello, good morning, Simon. How about just put the, I think the men's room might need toilet paper.
Oh, he put it up.
For that long? Do you have a bucket to put the ice in?
Totally my favorite one.
Now you see the red button, yeah. We can go see. Yeah.
I'll try to get it.
Where are more bobby pins? They're in here.
Okay, so you do this. This. It takes a 15-second video. See the red line going down? Mm-hmm. And then it'll switch off.
Okay.
So, watch. All yours.
I don't know, same thing. It's stupid.
What do you have to?
It's the same thing.
This is the.
Together, we share life's many blessings and sorrows. In unison, we affirm life's sacred value. The family transcends all time. Days flow into months. The years mysteriously vanish. Children mature into leaders. Parents soon cherish their grandchildren. The family remains eternal. The gift of life has brought us to this special moment in time. We gather to celebrate the perpetuation of our family's heritage. This day, we celebrate our promise for the future.
shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole game and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you will be the best of best. Wherever you go, you will topple the rest. And will we succeed? Yes, we will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Okay, I need mountains. So be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bright or Moonhigh Alley and Alley O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
And now, I'm going to have
Okay.
I'm just going to digress, Simon. You are like a sabra. A sabra is a fruit of the cactus that grows in Israel, which is hard and prickly on the outside, but soft and sweet on the inside. Celebration of Shabbat. In the tempestuous ocean of time and toil, there are islands of stillness where man may enter a harbor and reclaim his dignity. The island is the seventh day, Shabbat, the day of detachment from things, instruments, and practical affairs, as well as of attachment to the spirit. The Shabbat is a day on which we are, regardless of whether we are learned or not, whether our career is a success or a failure. It is a day of independence of social conditions. All week we may ponder and worry whether we are rich or poor, or whether we succeed or fail in our occupations, whether we accomplish or fall short of reaching our goals. The Shabbat is no time for personal anxiety or care for any activity that might dampen the spirit of joy. The Shabbat is no time to remember sins, to confess, or even to pray for relief or anything we may need. Fasting, mourning, demonstrations of grief are forbidden. The period of mourning is interrupted by the Shabbat.
Want to read this with me? Blessed is the light of the Blessed is the light of the Sabbath, which sanctifies us with its peace and enlightens our minds. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As this brightness reminds us of the past generations who have kindled light, so may we, in our days, remind those who kindle light.
Shabbat Gam Yahad Mato Shabbat Gam Yahad.
And Max, will you do us our own
In this hour of celebration, we reflect upon the meaning of our lives. We have within a vision of our ideal self, a dream of what we can and should become. We will pursue this vision and we will strive to make our dreams real. Thus we bring meaning to our lives.
The tallis is a four-cornered prayer shawl that is composed of two parts, the cloth and the fringes. It's traditionally worn during Jewish morning prayers by the adult members of a congregation, of which today you become an adult, on Shabbat and the high holidays. The tallit cloth assists the wearer to reach a spiritual consciousness and into reflection. The tallit with its fringes reminds us of the commandments of the Torah and our duty to remember and do them. Traditionally, prayer shawls were worn by only men, but now women wear them also. אין מלך העולם, אשר קידשני במצוותיו וציווני, להתעטף בציצית. Okay, we can all do the next part together. May your eyes see the best in all people. May your mouth speak wisely. May your hands reach out to others. May your feet run to do good deeds. May you have patience to learn and the spirit to be playful. May you have the will to imagine and the freedom to dream. May your life be long and happy. May you have show you the way. May you find your place in the world. May there be love and smile on your face. May your days be filled with promise and wonder. May you always feel in our presence. And imagine this us to be our
Imru Amen. Yasa Shalom. Yasa Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Yakol Yisrael. Yasa Shalom. Yasa Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Yakol Yisrael.
Simon, I know you have spent a lot of story of Simon Barmie. I really love the music of Hamilton. My grandparents got us the Hamilton book. It's so big that I just page through it every now and then. I knew I had this bar mitzvah talk to do, so it got me wondering if there were any Jewish people involved in the story of Hamilton. In the story told by Lynn Miranda, it's not obvious if or how any Jews might have been involved. So I did some research and found something very interesting. A Jewish guy named Simon lent his fortune to George Washington to fund his army to defeat the British and create our terrific nation in which we sit today. This is Simon's story. Simon is not considered a founding father, and so he's not in the Hamilton story. However, in the 1770s, in a moment that transcended personal gain and fame, Simon personally bailed out the future United States, saved our soldiers, and helped create our nation. He loaned all he had to George Washington in the Continental Congress when America was on the brink of failure. He loaned them more than $50,000, now equal to about $3.5 million. Of the $600,000 to fund the Revolutionary War. If you recall, during the Revolutionary War, we fought the British for independence. If we lost, there might not have been a USA as we know it. He was never repaid. In fact, he died broke. George Washington signed a loan note with Time, but for whatever reason, he and the Congress at the time didn't keep their word and repay their debt. In fact, 4 Congresses since have tried to pass resolutions to repay their debt to Hein, but never actually passed anything. Your word is your bond, and I believe Hein believed in the war effort and believed that Washington and the Continental Congress would repay their debt. Eventually, at least, but they didn't. I believe you should keep your word and honor your agreements. Hein lent money to the founding fathers in good faith, and without him, no money, no army, no winning of the war, no USA, no Hamilton. Lynn Miranda connected Hamilton to Washington to Hein to me. Only 4 degrees of separation, and only 2 more to Kevin Bacon. Hein Solomon was born on April 7, 1740, in Lisa, Poland, to a family of Portuguese Jews. His parents have been driven out of the Iberian Peninsula by anti-Semitic laws enacted by the Spanish monarchy, and settled in Lisa, now Lenzo, about 4 hours west of Warsaw. They were Orthodox Jews. Hein spent several years moving around Western Europe and England, developing fluency in several languages that served him well for the remainder of his life. After learning all those languages, he used that skill to be a businessman and trader. He met his wife, Rachel, in Poland, and they later had 4 children in the USA. Their ketubah, or wedding contract, beside that at the American Jewish Historical Society in Philadelphia, which I saw a picture of after I contacted the Historical Society while researching Hein. A Jewish refugee from Poland, Hein arrived in New York in the spring of 1775, just weeks after shots were first exchanged between soldiers and Americans at Lexington and Concord. He found his job as a distiller, and in his free time studied the grievances of the 13 colonies with Congress. In New York, he joined the Sons of Liberty and became a provision supplier for American troops at Lake George. He later established himself as a successful merchant and dealer in foreign securities. It was like a hedged fund, where he would buy the value of ship's cargo before it left Europe or the West Indies for less than the actual value, and then sold it for a big profit once the ship landed in the colonies. He made his money by assuming the risk from the cargo owners. In 1780, he moved to Philadelphia, where he died of TB in 1785 at a young age of 45 years old. Let me tell you a little more about Hyman Solomon's support for American independence. Striking up an acquaintance with Alexander McDougall, leader of the New York Sons of Liberty, Solomon became active in the Patriot cause. The Sons of Liberty were a secret organization that was created in the 13 American colonies to advance the rights of the European colonists to fight taxation by the British government. The Sons played a major role in most colonies in battling the Stamp Act in 1765. But that's a story for another time. Solomon joined the New York branch of Sons of Liberty and used his position to help prisoners of the British escape the British prisons. He encouraged the Hessians to desert the war effort. The Hessians were a group of German mercenaries sent to the colonies against their will to support the British, so they really had no allegiance to the British. In 1765, British occupation forces arrested and imprisoned Hyman in Provost Prison in New York for being a spy. He gained release because the British hoped to use his language skills to communicate with the German mercenaries, the Hessians. Instead, Hyman covertly encouraged the Hessians to desert and join Washington, who promised them free land, not his to give, but again, a story for another time, to fight against the British. Arrested again in the early 1778 for espionage and sabotage for aiding wounded soldiers. Hyman had all of his property confiscated by the British. A court-martial sentenced him to hang. He escaped again with the help of his Hessians and fled penniless to Philadelphia in 1780. His wife and child joined him soon afterward. His second escape brought Hyman to the Dobbsbury Landing, which is on the Hudson River just south of the Tappan Zee Bridge in New York, where none of the troops owned a complete uniform or musket. The men within dressed in buckskin shirts and coonskin caps, and their shoes were tied with rope. Hyman, at the age of 40, realized he was too old to serve himself, but he proposed to General Alexander McDougall that he could assist the cause by raising money from the Jewish community in Philadelphia, 100 miles away. Though ill, he set off on foot to do his patriotic best. It was 1780, and after multiple arrests and escapes, Hyman was on his way to Philadelphia, his new home, where he connected with the local Jewish community, who gave him shelter and loaned him $30,000 to start his business. He resumed his brokerage business, which became very successful. So successful, in fact, that he also helped the British fund the war against the French fund the war against Britain. Again, a story for another time. His successes brought the notice and respect of the detractors who had once labeled him as the Hagular Jew or Jew broker. At the same time, a guy named Robert Morris had reluctantly accepted control of all finances to pay for the revolution for Congress. He was soon at his wits and ended his war efforts to raise money for the war. He even approached the workers, the great warriors and capitalists that they are, without any success, but he could not bring himself to ask for more money from the Jews. The situation grew so bad that General Washington himself appealed to Morris to seek Hyman's help. On Yom Kippur, 1780, the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, Morris at last sought Hyman's help. Allegedly, within the hour, Hyman raised $20,000 from the congregation of Jewish worshippers, who were anxious to save American soldiers from starvation and cold. As the Hyman's devotion spread, he was hailed as a hero of the revolution for staking his fortune and that of the Jewish community. Viva la Revolution. In fact, Heim became so successful and trustworthy at raising money for the war effort that France and Spain would only deal with him and provide the loans directly through Heim for the colony's independent effort.
First.
Heim was also the founder and largest contributor to the Philadelphia Synagogue, Mikvah Israel, still in existence to this day. He was a member of the synagogue delegation protesting Pennsylvania's religious TESO and served as a treasurer of the Society for the Relief of Destitute Strangers. The TESO deprived Jews of the right to be elected representatives because it required each member of the Pennsylvania Assembly that the Old and New Testament were given by divine inspiration. Heim and a number of Jews protested the TESO, which was not accepted. However, it influenced the United States Constitution that does not provide a religious oath for holding of office. Heim was a huge contributor to the Revolutionary War because George Washington needed the money and because
I hope everybody learned something. I know that, right? Probably did. So, most probably know I've been traveling a lot, spending a lot of time on airplanes, so I may lose some of you, but I had a great time writing this while I was sitting multiple dozens of hours of airplane flights. In the 1500s, the world as we now know it began to change more than it had since the dawn of time. In only 500 years, we've seen more change than ever in human history. A change driven by a drive for knowledge and to make the future a better place. Simon, this is your story of Heim. He had a vision for the future of his family, the Jewish people, immigrants, and our country. I offer you a similar challenge to look forward. Find your place, be honorable, and leave your mark on the future to come. Your future is evolving much faster than anyone in this room has ever known or seen. You and your generation will shape what it looks like, and you have the ability to also be honorable and do the right thing. Look beyond yourself. What contribution can you make, and what would be your stamp on history? Think about what is important in the grand scheme of things. I remember being your age and standing up here. It was all about Pac-Man, Defender, pinball, and breakdancing. Believe it or not, there was no internet or cell phones. Now, it's all about PS4, Minecraft, Fortnite, Instagram, and the floss. As in my day, these things are just pebbles on time's arrow. Before you know it, these too will be in the Museum of American History and almost forgotten. There was once a saying that he who dies with the most toys or gold wins. Adam Smith taught us this, around the same time that Heim was lending his fortune to the Continental Congress. I'd like to convince you that this isn't true anymore. I'd like to convince you now that he who reinvests in the future wins. He who looks beyond the now to 2050 and 2119, which may sound far out, but you could most likely be alive in those years. And beyond will have the greatest impact on our society and the future. I challenge you to look beyond and find your reinvestment towards the future. Live today like it's your last day. Make your impact, take risks, be bold. I think you're already bold. Because tomorrow, you don't want to look back and think you could have, should have, or would have. You must make your tomorrow, just like Heim did. Remember, you're the master of your own fate and the captain of your destiny. Your mom and I are very proud of you. You worked really hard and did a great job. We love you. And finally, thank you for Simon and the other two, and for being awesome.
Thank you again for coming from Arizona and for memory lane as I get to look at the funny pictures behind you that I encourage you to please look at. I was hoping they'd be behind me so you can enjoy. If you want to turn around, a little awkward turn, that might be good. I promised Simon I would not embarrass him, so I'm sorry that I cannot do this song and dance that I had. He said, don't do anything weird, Mom, so I'm sorry about that. I can't do what I had planned. So when I think of Simon, I smile. Makes me laugh. Anyway, Simon has won an award in our house for the child whose name has been used most. That's a pretty high achievement, given that he also goes by Sai and Simo, Simush, Simushki, Nemos, and many more. So congratulations, thanks for playing. You'll get your participation award later. From the from the very beginning, Simon has been a character, as you can see in the funny videos and the pictures behind us. You'll see all the things that I'm talking about, but when Simon was first born, he was quite the sleeper, quite the eater, and he would fall asleep no matter where he was, but still hold on to that piece of toast. I could not grab it. Brooke's wife just holding on to that toast and fall asleep wherever he is, so please enjoy those pictures along the way. The yogurt drinks, he would beaver tooth the yogurt drinks. Simon was here and leave them in the refrigerator as if no one would know it would be him. He still does that. Leaves the wrappers and containers empty in the fridge, so love when you do that. What else can I say? Oh, particular about food, hence the barbecue at 11 a.m. Simon has always been very particular about his food. That was a good one too. The cousins, we did that in the night, put mustaches and beards on them with Sharpie. That was fun. Sorry, where are we? Great sleeper. Piggyback rider. We're looking at Simon's carrying Phoebe around. Big brother, baseball, going through elementary school. He was quite the character with his funny hair days, mohawk, reverse mohawk, shaved hair, scientist, all of the funny things that we enjoyed. Simon's fashion sense from the start. He always had his own fashion sense. He was the only kid I knew that could carry off wearing a Disney baseball cap and still look really cool. And his love for pink, as you can see in his shoes. He had his socks. He has worn pink soccer socks for about 5 years. That could be seen all throughout the house. Oh, there he is, sleeping in a chair. They could be seen throughout the house. We love you. So thank you for everyone for joining us, and keep being you. And thank you.
To him. And so that's one of my hopes for you moving forward, that you always look at things and think about what's fair and what's right, and use that kind of critical thinking skills rather than just saying, oh, this is an interesting story, saying, this is an interesting story, but I don't think that this person was treated well, or I think this could be done better. And I think that that will be a wonderful trait that you'll bring to the world moving forward. So
Today, I personally did not know anything about this individual and the topic, and I think it's fascinating that there are, we always are stories are gonna highlight certain people, right? But there's always a wealth of other people that make any venture successful, and knowing about a Jewish hidden figure here in the legacy and history of America is really important.
I have a couple announcements. Simon was so powerful and so dedicated to teaching us about Chaim Solomon that he printed. In closing, my big brother allows me to give a quote from Albert Einstein, and reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, an almost fantastical love of justice, and the desire for personal independence, these are the features of the Jewish tradition that make me, my brothers, my family, my nephews, my nieces, lucky that make me thank my lucky stars that I belong to it. So Mazel Tov, Simon, and please join us in the back corner.
You can do it.
Just water. Okay. And here we go.
Amen. Very good.
Taylor, enjoy. Mazel tov.
How do you not like all of them? Simon, give a piece to mommy and daddy.
I think our celebration is ready to begin. Mazel tov.
Even my pashminas not warm enough now.
You want my jacket? He made a long speech.
It was beautiful.
I don't know who did it. Him or Wayne?
Wayne did something.
All family. Oh, that's wonderful. That's a gift for me.
and then I want to go in. Maybe.
Oh, come on.
Wait, just do us and then I'll go in.
No, not you, Colin. Yeah, it's just so bright out here. I don't have to flash.
Yeah,
We don't do much because the sun. Everything's
Right.
Right. Say one more.
Yeah, don't
All
get
right,
that shadow in
there.
there.
Okay, I'm going.
Anybody else?
Max, that doesn't look good. Man up, quick. Man up.
Wait, his camera broke.
TV!
Okay, you done? Okay, Phoebe out. Colin, come on. Okay, am I done? Am I good?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, Colin, you put your hands over Simon's nuts. I think that's the way to
What's
do
with
it.
this nuts thing?
It's delicious.
This is like a new,
No.
Look over here at this camera. I haven't used an SLR for ages.
My nut hurts. My right one hurts.
Right, right. Well, at least you got two.
It's worth $50,000 in the Revolutionary
I
War.
remember talking about this. None of our Must be a.
Brian, let's the three of us get one.
All right, beautiful.
Just
Take
up
a-
to lose them.
Somebody's got a lot of fun going through all these photos.
Okay.
The brothers.
Colin, here.
Where? Oh, yeah. Just the round circle.
There's two of them. That way we can all be sweetie.
Okay.
I'm taking pictures.
On Wayne's events.
All right. There we go. All right, you guys got to go through this stuff. For 90% of the time.
Be happy.
Straight from the Iditarod.
Ryan.
Are you recording?
Yes, you want to say something to Simon?
Follow me at Fermina.Brand. Shut up! On Instagram. At Mazel Tov Simon. Follow my dog on Instagram and follow me on TikTok. I'm like a TikTok legend, so at Pitconk on TikTok. At Fermina.Brand on Instagram. Yeah, TikTok for the
You want to say something to Simon? Would you like to say something to Simon?
Oh, no.
You can.
Mazel Tov. Yes, Mazel Tov. Or Mazel Tov.
Yeah, you can sign for them.
In the car, let's go next.
You have to sign waivers first. You guys sign the waiver from him, and then you guys can go in.
And then have a good time.
Can you sign it for me? I have to have a gold ring.
Fill them all out, and I'll sign them all at the end. Come straight out.
I'm being dressed by another man, darling.
Good. That's why I'm filming it. When the divorce comes,
when the
I
divorce
want,
comes,
I want to know what
there'll be footage
happens.
of this. There's something wrong with this zipper.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like upside down. Look at this.
Hey, he's hurt. Second time. Sorry, man.
Why are you laughing? Come on.
Ice cream for hours. They call me and say, you know what, the fan gets dug up the truck, so ice cream. And it's raining.
There you go.
Got your breath. Balance. Back up. Wait. Back up. Back up.
Phoebe, run as hard as you can.
Okay, Phoebes, you got your breath? You ready? Now both of you like lean forward when you hit each other.
Phoebe, I can knock you over. Oh.
Lean forward. Lean forward to your knees. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Maggie, back up. Maggie, back up. Back up. Back up.
Got your balance? Look, just lean forward a little bit. Colin, let her roll or you're gonna get hurt. Lean forward. There you go, Phoebe. Forward. There you go. There you go. Nice job.
Okay, Phoebe.
You need some help? There you go. Now turn around.
Phoebe.
Watch what happens.
Phoebe, this is an interview.
No, Daddy,
Phoebe.
no!
Don't worry, Phoebe, I got you.
I'm just gonna put it down the hill. You're wasting your time in here. Stand up.
Well, you're scaring me.
Okay, go get her.
No, I want you to hit that.
Flying all over.
Okay. Go for Max. Go for Max.
Oh, now it's fun? Before you didn't want to go.
Wait, I'm interviewing you
Uh-huh.
inside the balloon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to destroy Max.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should record it. Just so you can see his humiliation. Max, come on.
That was nasty.
Okay, Call? Max, again. Call it. Loosen the strap so it comes down lower. I think you're just at the wrong place.
Good God.
Go low, Colin, go low. Boom! Oh, that was cool. Oh!
Yo!
Walk forward, Carl. This way. Martin, you gotta be feet. Martin, your feet have to be inside. Oh, jeez, you guys didn't even move. Johnny, I think you need these for your house for your boys. Yeah, get in the bubble. Best of 3. I think he's doing it deliberately. Dominic's like, what? Huh?
Come on, Marty, get in the middle.
It's a triangle dance, guys.
Triangle dance.
Triangle dance. You're not getting enough. Oh, that was no fun. 3, 2, 1, go!
Can you help me up?
Yeah. How am I supposed to help you up? Now?